have some more students who are online, who are actually attending this session online, and some of you guys, right? Now, so before we start this session, okay, so before we start this session, I just want to know from you guys what exactly are your expectations from this session? Why you are here today? 2024 prelims only, not the entire mains and interview? You want to first clear prelims and then... Okay. (2024) roadmap. Is that okay? Okay. So that we'll discuss everything in that roadmap. Okay.
How to make ready mains before?
How to get yourself ready?
Mains before the prelims.
Mains exam itself before prelims. We'll discuss that in the roadmap itself. But you should know it, right? Why you are here today, you should know it. Okay. Now the thing. Answer writing. Okay. Okay. Okay.
How many tests have to take for getting very prepared in mains?
How many test series we have to take before getting into exam? Okay. Time management. Okay. PSAT. Okay. Change in pattern of questions. Okay. So you need to do next level of questions. Right. So we have to go up to that level and then prepare. What option that we have?
GS also.
GS, nothing has changed. Only thing is that ABCD choices, he changed that. That's okay. But nothing has changed. In fact, question paper has become a little more easier compared to the previous year, to be frank with you guys. But the problem is it was a surprise element and people went on with certain kind of techniques, elimination techniques, which did not work out. Therefore, it has become a tough paper. But actually, it's not a tough paper. Open with you on the face of it, definitely it's not a tough paper. It's more easy compared to previous one. But if you use your common sense, it is more easy paper. And it only fetches, the paper 2020, the prelims paper fetches to only those kind of candidates who has got very good clear-cut concepts. Conceptual clarity. Whatever you read, if you're clear about the concepts, then yeah, it works for prelims. Now, what do you think, like, what are the characteristics required for to be an IAS officer or an IPS officer, to be a good administrator? What do you think are the best characteristics required? In simple terms, as whatever you feel like. What do you think?
Mindset.
Mindset, okay. It's a very broader term.
Should have basic social.
Basic idea of what's happening around you. What else? Planning the system. Planning the system. It's already there. System is there already. So you being in that system, how do you plan your works? Mhm. What else? Sound వస్తుంది. వస్తుందా మీకు? యాక్చువల్ నా చెవులు ముక్కులు కొద్దిగా షార్ప్ అనమాట. సెన్సిటివ్ థింగ్స్ కూడా ఐడెంటిఫై జనరల్. అది మంచిది చెడు కూడా అది. అది చిన్నదానికి డిస్టర్బ్ అవుతాం. ఇంకా అది కూడా ఉండాలి ఐఏఎస్ ఆఫీసర్కి. ఓకే, ఇంకా shall I tell you certain simple things here? Okay, to be an IAS officer or an IPS officer, what is more important is you should clearly know what to do and what not to do. First thing, it's pretty clear one. You should clearly know what to do and what not to do. There are certain things which are in your domain. There are certain things which are not in your domain. Whatever things that are in your domain of administration, you can act on that. You can do some kind of action. You can do whatever you want there. That's a different story. What you are going to do is different story. But you can work only to that extent. Beyond that, it's not your domain. You are not supposed to do anything then. But you should have clear-cut idea. What is my domain of understanding? What is my domain of execution? What is my domain of actions? You should have the clear-cut understanding about what you are supposed to do. The kind of brevity that you need to have in your understanding of what can be done, what cannot be done. What do you think in prelims? What is being tested in prelims? What is being tested in prelims? What is being tested in mains? What is being tested in interview? In prelims, what is just being tested is your discipline in understanding what to know, what not to know. That's it. An IAS officer is supposed to know that. If you have clear-cut syllabus given to you, the syllabus is given to you, and you read blah, 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 blah things which are not in the syllabus is useless. Right? Even in the syllabus also, how you should know the syllabus, what kind of a knowledge that you should have. And even if you have some kind of a knowledge, how to understand that knowledge, how to apply that knowledge to whatever the surroundings. These are certain simple things which an UPSC aspirant should have and which an IAS officer is supposed to have. In academics, no one is going to ask all these things. In academics, whatever he asks, you write something on the topic is okay, accepted. You write something on that, but it is accepted. But in UPSC, it's not like that. There are certain things which you are supposed to know, number one. Number two, what is being asked in the exam exactly should be able to pinpointedly target that question. Not what you know about everything, no. Your vast knowledge, no one is asking you in UPSC. Yes, you need to have some fair idea about lot many things. And that discipline that you need to have in order to crack prelims is that you should clearly know what to read and what not to read, because that is something which an IAS officer is supposed to know. You should have the clear-cut, simple discipline of what to do, what not to do. You should be clear about that. And what do you think is mains? What is being tested in mains? Thought process, okay. There's again the mindset, thought process, they're all big terms. Is it a very broad terms, right? Correct. Thought process, correct. Mindset, correct. But it's a broad terms. I'm trying to put it in very specific terms. Okay, one element is time management, okay. But look at an IAS officer per point of view. Because I'm trying to correlate what are the simple attributes that we can specify for an IAS officer, and those simple attributes, whether they are actually being tested in civil services or not. Because why a test is being conducted? To select those kind of candidates who has got the qualities of an IAS officer and IPS officer. The simple qualities of an IAS or IPS officer. IAS officer or IPS officer is not a god. That he has got all the qualities, good qualities. You need to have certain qualities. And if that qualities that you have, then you will be selected in this exam. Simple thing. Any kind of an exam, for example, GATE exam, suppose. What is being tested in GATE exam? Your knowledge about a specific discipline, the subject, mechanical engineering, or maybe civil engineering, or maybe electrical engineering, your complete knowledge about. Right, that's what being tested there. Similarly, for civil services, there are certain qualities. If at all you have those qualities, you would be selected. Yeah. The one thing that is quite clear, whatever you know, you should know it clearly. I'm not asking you to know everything in this world, no. But whatever you know it clearly. Okay. Now, number 2 element, which is very important. Of course, you need to have the discipline of what to do, what not to do, what to read, what not to read, even in mains also. Obviously, because prelims it is being tested, it has to carry to the mains also. Additionally, you need to have that brevity in communicating with people in terms of your writing skills. That is an additional skill which is mandatorily required for any kind of an administrative officer, an IAS officer, an IPS officer, anyone, because you most of the times you write lots and lots of reports. You read lots of reports. You also write lots and lots of reports. Okay, it's not that you keep on writing big paragraphs, essays, and hundreds or maybe thousands of pages of reports. No one is going to read all these things. You need to put it on paper in such a way that whatever you want to convey, you convey in the minimum number of words with most effective language. Writing skills are paramount in civil services examination. You should definitely know what to read, what not to read. You should know what to do, what not to do. Along with that, you should know how to communicate that. The same thing in terms of oral aspect. Oral communication is being tested in your personality test. It's not an interview. Interview is not always all about knowledge testing. You need to have very good knowledge, that is up to sure. One more thing which is important even in as an IAS officer. Tomorrow when you are posted as an IAS officer, see, being collector of a district or a district magistrate is only one aspect of it. One aspect of the entire IAS officer life journey, career journey. It's just one element of it. There's so many other elements. He might be posted to maybe science and technology department. He might be posted to finance department. He might be posted to maybe human resources department. He might be posted to maybe education department. He might be posted to some other health department. There are different departments would be there where an IAS officer can be posted. Industries. Now, I am not asking you to become an expert of all these areas. You should have fair understanding of what happens in all these fields. For example, you are posted in science and technology department. Whom you will be talking to actually? In a meeting, in a standard meeting, whom you will be talking to? You might be talking to certain scientists or experts in that area who has a very deeper level of knowledge on those areas. And you are the boss of all these guys. And whatever they speak, if you don't understand, how can you administer them? How can you guide them to do what they are supposed to do? Are you getting my point? So you should be able to understand every element of what they are talking. You might not be an expert of that. It's okay for me. You might not be an expert of how what's there deep inside the Vikram module or what's there deep inside of the Chandrayaan 3. But whatever they speak, you should be able to understand it at least. You don't need to go inside and then do whatever they are doing. No, you are not supposed to do that. So you need to have that overall idea. That's what is knowledge all about. Your knowledge. Okay? But whatever you know properly. There should not be any confusion. It should be perfect picture, perfect clarity on what you know. And you don't need to go very deeper inside and know each and everything about everything, each module of the entire Chandrayaan 3. I'm not asking that. Are you getting my point? Anyway. Just hold for a second. Okay, fine. Okay, anyway, anything else? So you should know what to do, what not to do. You should have knowledge. You should have a brevity of communication in terms of writing skills, also in terms of your oral skills in personality test. Okay. All these things would be tested here. It's not that you keep on reading and you become IAS officer. No. You don't become IAS officer just by sake of reading. No, not possible. Are you getting that? For example, if you look at, maybe I'll give a simple example. Political science optional guy. Okay, a political science optional guy, suppose. PSIR, Political Science and International Relations. MA Political Science gold medalist in his university. MA Political Science gold medalist in his university. Obviously, he would be having lots and lots of knowledge about political science. Is it or not? Or else how would he become topper of the entire batch? How can he become a gold medalist? Not possible. Right. Since he is extraordinarily good at that area, why he should not become IAS officer? Even we have optional subject in civil services, PSIR, is it or not? And PSIR, he is supposed to be the topper of PSIR. But rather, what happens, an engineer, a regular engineer, he takes PSIR, optional in civil services, 3 or 4 or 5 months he works on PSIR. He gets better marks compared to that MA political science guy in civil service exam. What's the problem here? I'm trying to compare two guys who are writing the same examination. Both have the same PSIR as their optional. Okay, one is already an expert of PSIR. Other don't know anything. Zero. The first guy, in fact, he would have spent almost 3 years of graduation, 2 years of post-graduation, right? 5 years in political science, became gold medalist, topper of the university, okay? And another guy who has zero knowledge, who understood political science and started understanding political science, learned political science in 5 months, maybe, okay? And then he got better marks compared to this MA gold medalist in political science guy in civil services. I'm not talking anywhere else. I'm talking about only civil services exam. What happens here then? What happens here? So I was talking about certain things, right? Certain qualities. All these qualities will work here. All the qualities that I was talking about, simple qualities. So I'm not talking about big bombastic qualities that generally people talk about. I'm talking about simple qualities required to crack this exam. And anyone who has got those kind of skills is not required to be an engineer, or it's not required to be a MA PSIR guy. No, a small, maybe a BSc or a BA from a remote area in India, coming and understanding this political science optional subject in a way UPSC requires him to understand. He can score better marks compared to any other guy. Always possible. That is UPSC. It's not about what you know. It's always about what is for you to require to know. Okay? Entire knowledge I have, useless. But what UPSC is expecting you to know, if you know it, the way you are supposed to know, if you know it, then you will crack this exam. That's what it is. Clear? So, make yourself pretty clear that there are simple things which you require to know. That's it. Anyway, let us come back to any other things that you want me to address, because see, some of them by default it would be part of my lecture itself, okay, and some of them might be, for example, CSAT. Someone is talking about CSAT. Additionally, you want me to talk about CSAT. Yes. And what GS paper, 2023 prelims paper, GS paper. No, what was the question paper actually all about? How was 2022 paper different from 2023 paper? For me, 2023 paper is more easy. Why it is more easy? You know why? Previously, you know what used to happen. So, UPSC wanted to create some kind of a tricks to trick you guys. So that to identify an answer, it becomes a difficult affair. In the process of that, they used to give certain statements. Okay, on something, consider the following statements on something. Okay, statement number 1, statement number 2, statement number 3. Which of them are correct? A statement. Okay, statement 1 is correct. Statement 1 and 2 are correct. Statement 1, 2, 3 are correct. And statement 3 and 1 are correct. Something like that. Now what happens? There is always a possibility that if one of the statement is correct, if that is correct, or if one of the statement is wrong, you have the ability of eliminating A, B, C, D, at least 2 of the choices or 3 of the choices. In some cases, you are able to eliminate without actually knowing whether all the 3 statements are correct or wrong. That means you don't have the clarity on the concepts. The 3 statements, you don't have the clarity. So they used to, because the questions were framed in that sense, they used to frame these 3 statements in a very tricky way. They use the trick to actually frame the 3 statements itself, so that choosing the right answer becomes a difficult affair for a student. That was till 2022. Now what they have done in 2023, people started in 2022, people started creating lot of techniques, tricks, tips, blah, 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 blah. Hundreds and hundreds of videos have come in YouTube also. How to crack this question without even understanding the question. Without even understanding the question, you see, YouTube, you type it and you will get, I'm telling you. Okay, just before the prelims examination, if you see so many videos in YouTube, without actually understanding the question itself, they give you tips to crack the question. Nonsense, and that's what UPSC is expecting from you guys, right? Okay. Now, what is UPSC expecting from you? Whatever you learn, you should understand it properly. Concepts, you should have proper clarity on the concepts. Clarity of the concepts, whatever you learn. They're not asking you to answer all the 100 questions. Is it or not? Even if you get 50%, you're through. 50% is through, right? So whatever you learn, but with proper clarity, you should know. You should know what to read, you should also know what not to read, but whatever you read, you know perfectly, clarity. An IAS officer is also supposed to know what to do, what not to do also. What is there in his domain, what is not there in his domain. And UPSC is clear on that. And now what they have done, the 3 statements that they have given, they are simple statements only. They did not do any trick in that. Simple statements. Conceptual clarity is required. If you don't have conceptual clarity, you cannot work it out like all the 3 statements, any of 1 of or 2 or the 3 of the statements are correct or wrong. You will not be able to understand it. Now what they have, 1 of them are correct, 2 of them are correct, 3 of them are correct, none of them are correct. Now they made these choices in a simple terms in such a way that you get tricked there. Why you are getting tricked? Because the statements, you don't have clarity. I'm telling you a simple thing. There are people, I've seen some of the people, senior students, who could not actually clear previous exam, but they could clear easily this exam. Why? Previously, they were actually following the tricks. So they were not actually following the tricks, but they have conceptual clarity. But it so happened that the questions themselves, the statement themselves were highly tricky in nature. Some they are able to do, some they are not able to do. Guesswork, they have started doing that. Some guesswork they worked, some guesswork they did not work. Some of them could not clear, some of them could clear in 2022. But this year what happened? Only those people who have got conceptual clarity, only those people cleared this year. Clear cut. It's very clear cut phenomena. All those people who exclusively relied on techniques, elimination techniques, they all failed. So this is quite clear. UPSC is clear in what they are doing. Okay, UPSC observes everything, what's happening around. They actually go into the students, they research, they do some kind of a survey within the students and identify all these kind of tricks and tips people follow, and they try to ensure that no one gets a distinct advantage unnecessarily. Okay, so UPSC is very smart in that. It's not just now they started that. They have been doing from decades. Even my time when I was preparing for this examination, when I started my preparation, it was in 98, 97, 98 that I started. Of course, I don't know whether you people are born at that time, but when I started my preparations, since then UPSC started observing people. Okay. Anyway, in fact, There was a statement in 2000, one of the chairman of UPSC board, UPSC at that time, he mentioned in one of the interviews that we are looking at you guys, pointing out the aspirants. We are looking at you guys. What books you are reading, what coaching centers that you are going, what is the notes of those coaching centers. We're all observing that. At some point of time, we used to get questions where you cannot find those questions in any of the coaching centers material. Because what coaching centers generally do, they don't give everything. Every teacher, they pinpointedly find, this year, these things are important, so let us focus on these things. Most of the times, people used to get those questions in the exam, therefore people are happy and institutes were also happy. Now they started looking at the materials of the institute. UPSC started looking at the materials of the institute. Okay. Now what happens? When UPSC itself started looking at the materials, then the most popular materials at least they will see, and they ensure that none of the questions come from these materials. But we still follow that. That's a different story. Okay. Anyway, leaving all these aside, let us move on to our discussion. Okay. Now, I don't know whether this is connected to internet or not. I just wanted you guys to know about small things. At least one of the videos, let me play it. If at all it works here. Where is Chrome here? Continue without an account. Okay. Can I directly put it here? It's not even working. Okay. It's very slow. Just hold on for a second. Okay, let us play this small video. It's a very small video. She is All India rank 3 Uma Harati this year. చూడు సిద్ధు 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 బిజీగా ఉన్నారు పిల్లలు. వాల్యూమ్ ఏది?
ఏంటిది తెలుస్తుంది ఎంత డెప్త్ లో అనుకుంటున్నాం. అండ్ సెకండ్ థింగ్
Just give me a second.
టాపర్ కాపీస్ ఉంటాయి.
తెలుగు బట్ ఎనీవే దోస్ తెలుగు
ప్రీవియస్ క్వశ్చన్ పేపర్స్ ఎప్పుడు చూసుకుంటాడు ఏం అర్థం కావు. సిలబస్ పరంగా చూసినా గానీ అసలు ఎట్లాంటి కాన్సెప్ట్స్ అడుగుతాడో కూడా తెలియదు. స్ట్రాటజీ
యాక్చువల్లీ ఏమి తెలియకపోవడం ఒక బ్లెస్సింగ్, ఎందుకంటే మీ మైండ్ ఇంకా పొల్యూట్ అవ్వలేదు అన్నెసరీ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ తో. సో ఆ బ్లాంక్ స్టేట్ ఇస్ అ నైస్ స్టేట్. సో మనకు ఫస్ట్ సిలబస్ ప్రీవియస్ ఇయర్స్ క్వశ్చన్స్, అందులో గ్రాడ్యుయేట్ అయిన వాళ్ళే కదా మోస్ట్లీ ఇది చదవడం స్టార్ట్ చేస్తారు. కొంచెం బేసిక్ కామన్ సెన్స్ ఉంటుంది ఎవరికైనా. సో ఒక సిలబస్ టాపిక్ పట్టుకొని లైక్ ఏంటిది అని తెలుసుకోవడానికి ప్రయత్నించాలి. కానీ ఎంతవరకు తెలుసుకోవాలనేది మీకు ప్రీవియస్ ఇయర్స్ క్వశ్చన్స్ తెలుస్తుంది, వీళ్ళు ఎంత డెప్త్ లో అనుకుంటున్నారు. అండ్ సెకండ్ థింగ్, టాపర్ కాపీస్ ఉంటాయి, టాపర్ వీడియోస్ ఉంటాయి. ఊరికి అలా చూస్తూ పోకుండా ఒక 10 చూసి ఫైండ్ అవుట్ ద కామన్ డినామినేటర్, ఏంటిది ఏముంది వీళ్ళందరిలో కామన్ దట్ మేడ్ దెమ్ దట్. అది క్యాచ్ చేయకుంటే 100 వీడియోస్ చూసినా వేస్ట్. కానీ మీరు ఒక 10 వీడియోస్ చూసినా యూ విల్ ఇమీడియట్లీ అండర్స్టాండ్ దిస్ పీపుల్ ఆర్ డూయింగ్ సంథింగ్ ఇన్ కామన్. అది ఆన్సర్ రైటింగ్ కావచ్చు, లేదా కీపింగ్ ద సోర్సెస్ లిమిటెడ్ అవ్వచ్చు, మంచి ఒకటే A4 షీట్ నోట్స్ అయి ఉండొచ్చు పర్ టాపిక్, లేదా యూట్యూబ్ వీడియోస్ ద్వారా మేబీ దే ఫిల్లింగ్ దేర్ గ్యాప్స్ ఏమో. వాట్ ఈస్ దట్? లైక్ అది చాలా ఇండివిజువల్ ఎఫర్ట్ ఉండాలి. ఒకరిలో వచ్చి ఫార్ములా అయితే ఇవ్వలేదు కదా, నో ఫార్ములా, నో డెఫినెట్లీ నాట్. సో మంచిగా లైక్ బిలీవ్ ఇన్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్ దట్ యూ కెన్ ఫైండ్ అ స్ట్రాటజీ. అంటే ఇక్కడ ఎంత ఎక్స్ట్రా ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఉంటుంది మార్కెట్ లో అంటే మీకు ఏమైనా అర్థమైనా యూ విల్ క్వశ్చన్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్, ఈజ్ దిస్ రియల్లీ ద రైట్ వే టు డూ అని. అట్లా క్వశ్చన్ చేసుకోకుండా బిలీవ్ ఇన్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్. యూపీఎస్సీ ఇస్ వెరీ వాళ్ళకి వాళ్ళు చాలా సింపుల్ గా ఇచ్చారు, ఇదిగో ప్రీవియస్ ఇయర్ క్వశ్చన్స్, ఇదిగో సిలబస్.
మన కళ్ళ ముందు ఉంటాయి కానీ మనమే సరిగ్గా గుర్తించామండి.
నేను కూడా అది చేశాను ఫస్ట్ 3 అటెంప్ట్స్ లో, అందుకే చెప్తున్నాను అంత కాన్ఫిడెంట్ గా ఇది చేస్తామని. అవన్నీ చేయకుండా లైక్ ఈ రెండింటిని గైడింగ్ లైట్స్ లాగా పట్టుకొని ఈ టాపర్ స్ట్రాటజీస్ వీడియోస్ వాట్ ఎవర్ మీ ఇష్టం వచ్చినవి చూడండి, బట్ కామన్ డినామినేటర్ కోసం ఏంటి వాట్ ఈస్ ద డూయింగ్ ఇన్ కామన్ అని క్యాచ్ చేయండి. అండర్స్టాండ్ ద ఎగ్జామ్, మంచిగా పల్స్ క్యాచ్ చేస్తే ఒక్కసారి ఎగ్జామ్ ని మీరు మళ్ళీ క్లియర్ చేస్తుంటారు. కొందరు మళ్ళీ క్లియర్ చేస్తుంటారు, దట్స్ బికాస్ వాళ్ళు ఆ పల్స్ పట్టుకున్నారు. సో ఇంకా ఎన్నిసార్లు పెట్టినా రాపిస్తారు. కాబట్టి ఇవన్నీ కొంచెం స్మార్ట్ గా చదవటం కాదు. ఈ ఎగ్జామ్ నాట్ అబౌట్ నాలెడ్జ్, నాట్ అబౌట్ చదవటం. గూగుల్ ఉంది యూపీఎస్సీ నాలెడ్జ్ కావాలంటే. ఇట్స్ డిమాండింగ్ సంథింగ్ ఎల్స్. It's demanding analytical persons. It's demanding people who can make a strategy, make a game plan and follow through it. See, ఈ skills, ఈ values ని UPSC చూస్తుంది. Like it's so please understand that. అంతేగాని
ఊరికే పుస్తకాలు పట్టుకొని చదువుకుంటూ పోయి వెళ్ళిపోయి ఎగ్జామ్ రాసేద్దామంటే వేస్ట్. సో సమ్వేర్ స్ట్రాటజీ ఐడెంటిఫై చేయాలి. మేబీ యూ విల్ గెట్ ద స్ట్రాటజీ బై ప్రాక్టీసింగ్, రివిజన్స్ చేసినప్పుడు, మాట్లాడినప్పుడు.
ఆ ఎగ్జామ్ లోకి వెళ్ళి ఏం చేయాలో మీకు ఇంకా మొత్తం సమ్ క్లారిటీ ఉండాలి. మెయిన్స్ లో అక్కడికి వెళ్ళి ఏం రాయాలనేది కాదు, అక్కడ ఏం రాస్తున్నామో వీ నో ఆల్రెడీ, అంత ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తాము. అక్కడ ఆటో పైలట్ మోడ్ లో మన హ్యాండ్ ఫ్లో అవుతుంటది.
లాజికల్లీ ఇప్పుడు మనకి 3 hours ఎగ్జామ్, మనకి మినిట్స్ లో ఆ క్వశ్చన్స్ పరంగా చూసుకుంటే ఒక 10 ఏమో.
So this is a very simple video basically wherein Umma Harati was talking about, I think you understood, right? It's not about just keep on reading books. If you keep on reading books, yes, okay, fine. You'll get lots of knowledge. It's good. But this exam is not about just gaining that knowledge. Its exam is something else. And the beginning itself, she was mentioning like you should clearly know what to read, what not to read. And syllabus is given, previous question papers are given. What else you want? What else you want? Okay, so you should clearly understand the way UPSC is expecting you to prepare. That is more important rather than just keep on referring to so many books and keep on trying to even listen to so many rankers videos. You keep on listening to rankers videos, good. You listen to them, but try to identify a common factor which everyone has done. Okay, anyway, let me push through this one. Okay, for those people, this is a small slide for those people who have just, everyone understands the 3 stages? Anyone who want me to discuss about this? Not required, right? Okay, very well. Because these are certain things which everyone should know before going further. Okay, so we have a prelims, we have mains, we have personality test. We call it personality test, not interview actually, to be frank with you guys. Okay, so generally in the first instance, when you say personality test, people don't understand. Okay, this in fact the slide was made to those kind of people in fact. Anyway, so we have 2 papers, everyone knows, GS1, GS2. GS2 is the CSAT paper. Okay, GS1 has got the entire big syllabus, and then in mains we have 2 qualifying language papers, and then 1 essay paper and 4 GS papers, 2 optional papers, and you are supposed to choose an optional subject for that matter. Okay, and then you have personality test. Anyway, so someone was talking about the entire roadmap, 2024 roadmap. Fine. So let me write something here. So this is completely macro level view. We are in 2023 and we are talking about 2024 exam. Okay. So in 24, when is your prelims? May 26, you have prelims exam. Okay. And then in September, you have mains exam, right? Okay. Now in 2025, you have Jan, Feb, March, April, and of course May. May again you might be having prelims exam. Okay. Anyway, so right now we are in not in May, June, July, but in August. Okay, and then you have September here, October, November, and then December here, right? Okay, just hold on for a second. Okay, now what do you think, like in this entire examination, what do you think that which gives you the final best rank? What is the most important thing in this? Prelims, mains, or interview?
Mains.
Why mains?
The merit list is based on prelims is just for
What about personality test?
275 marks.
So what is more important, mains or personality test? Personality test.
Then come to my
So they identified that you are suitable. Okay. Can they give full marks? So that you should become IAS officer, because finally it's all about the marks of both mains and interview together. So you got low marks in mains, suppose you don't know, they also don't know what your marks of mains are. interview, you are given the maximum mark. But still, if you don't have good score in mains, you are just a border case in mains, suppose. Still, you will not become IAS officer. You will get some rank, but you might not become an IAS officer again. Is it or not? But you would have done the best in mains. You got very good bonus marks. Even if you get an average mark in interview, but still you will get into good service. Interview is important. Personality test is damn important. And to be frank with you guys, the preparation for personality test should start from today. The day you started your civil service preparation, your personality test preparation also should start now. The way, because it's not just, it's an exclusively different preparation in the interview. Of course, it is just about oral communication, but the oral communication for that, the content is already prepared. The entire prelims, mains, you are actually preparing for that only. You are actually preparing for your final interview only. Okay? Though there are different levels that they actually test you. Anyway, assuming that February the results are out, and then maybe if end of February or March and April you have a personality test. Okay? Actually, except for the latest year, till last year, the final results used to come nearly 25 days to 1 month before. But last year we don't have much more number of boards. We have very limited number of boards in interview. Therefore, they had to take hell lot of time to complete all the interviews, and very nick of the moment before prelims examination, they announce the result. But generally they give minimum 20 to 30 days. Okay. Anyway, leaving that aside. What's in your hand to get into service? There are two things. One is mains, one is personality test. Personality test, there is some kind of uncertainty in personality test because of multiple reasons. The reasons might be that that day the board is not so cordial because of whatever the reason, personal reasons or professional reasons or whatever reasons. Okay, that day you are not in a good mood, or that day you had some conflict with some of the aspirants there, or maybe some kind of a small disturbance because you have to submit your certificates. I don't know whether you know it or not. When you go to UPSC for interview, you have to give your original certificates, not DAF. DAF anyway is given. Online you submit that. The original certificates of your qualification for this examination, like 10th class, intermediate, degree certificates, if at all postgraduate certificates, caste certificate, if you are claiming caste. Okay, all these original certificates you have to submit at UPSC before going for interview. Before going for interview means you actually enter the UPSC Dolpur House building. There you have a big hall. Groups are divided based on your board. Which board you don't know, but one person comes and collects all your original certificates. Okay, there might be such a small problem there. Suppose you might be having some problem, name difference in your 10th class certificate and the name that you submitted in UPSC, suppose. Okay, then they will ask you. So it's a small disturbance. You stay there for a certain time and then they will call you for interview. But before going to interview, there is a small disturbance which you could not anticipate also, right? Before going to interview. So there might be such a small disturbances like that, but they try to ensure that you don't face any disturbance. But whatever it is, your mood is not good that day. That's not your day, suppose. Now what happens? The kind of marks that you are expecting in your personality test, you might not be getting that. Okay? But there are certain external factors which influence your personality test. That is possible. I'll give one example of mine. I went to interview 3 times. In my last attempt, it was a person called as Mata Prasad. Mata Prasad was my interview board chairman. He actually worked as a chief secretary in Mayawati government earlier and got retired, and then he is appointed as one of the members of UPSC. That member has become my interview board chairman. Okay, that person is an old person. When I went to interview, it's a round table actually. So I was sitting this side, chairman that side, 2 to 5 people would be there in the interview, 2 to here. It's okay. it was going very good. But one question the chairman asked me, Mata Prasad asked me, some question he asked me which I could not hear. So obviously I asked him, sir, pardon me, could you please repeat the question? This is what we are already trained on this. And whenever you go to mock interviews, the people tell like if you don't hear, if you have slight disturbance also, let the board know about it. Instead of you giving a wrong answer. Okay? People always tell you whatever answer you can give right answer always. Don't give wrong answers. That's what we are trained actually, obviously, right? Everyone tells that. So I asked them, so pardon me, sir, could you please repeat the question? Now that this time he repeated the question in a louder voice, so that I can understand the question properly. Because that guy has a problem, hearing problem. So senior most people, generally age-old people, when they have a hearing problem, they actually don't speak loud. They speak their volume, they reduce their volume and speak. That's a psychological tendency basically. Generally, even we also. If we don't hear properly, generally we think like we'll shout actually. No. We actually talk low. Okay? But whatever it is, he was talking low, therefore I asked him, therefore he increased his volume and then he gave me the question and then I have spoken on that question very well. Interview went on extraordinary. I came out of the board. You know what happens at UPSC Dolpur House? There are so many people waiting for you, for your interview also again. Outside interviews. With my camera. At that point of there are no mics and camera. They just ask. The reason being that these days people post in YouTube. But in our case there was no YouTube, right? Other students, tomorrow, next day or next day, some people might be having interviews. Those are the people who come and try to inquire in which board what kind of questions are being asked. So one candidate asked me like, which board you went to, Mata Prasad? Or how was the interview? Extraordinary. With my last statement, obviously I am supposed to do the best. Okay, it was in 2004. So, and then he asked me, I heard that Mata Prasad he generally talks very low, with low voice. How? He talked with low voice. Then what did you do? What did you do? I asked him to repeat the question. Are you sure you asked him to repeat the question? Yes, I asked him to repeat the question. What did he do then? He has given the question with a bigger volume. Very good. Do you know how many marks you are going to get? I did very good. I think I'll get very good mark. No, you are going to get 65 marks. He told me outside the campus of UPS. He just told me 65 marks. I did not believe that. Final, when I got the marks, I exactly got 65. Out of 300. It's not 275. My point of time, it was 300. 300, imagine score of 65. Do you think anyone can qualify with that 65 mark final rank? No one would get. That happened. Was there any fault of mine? Yes, there is a fault of mine. Asking him is the fault of mine. That's what people say. Because when we are trained, what happened? You have to ask him. You have to pardon me and then ask question. That's good. That behaviorally it was perfectly all right. But you know, later on I asked someone like, this is what happened. Someone told me 65 marks. I exactly got 65 marks. How is it possible? Did I do anything wrong? No, what they told me. You should have actually asked that question. You should not ask that question. That too to Mata Prasad. Mata Prasad, when you ask such question, he gets offended. Whatever might be the other interview questions or whatever the kind of answers that you have given, you are going to get 65, but that is standard at that time. For him, for that board. Not for every board. Then what I should have done? You should have spoken something. Then he would have actually asked the question, no, dear, I am not asking that question. I am asking this question, and he will say aloud. Then you would have answered the question better. How do we know all this thing? Is this how we have to prepare for civil service? Yes, we have to prepare like this one. That's the reason why I am telling. Personality test is uncertain. But what is there in your hands always? This is what you always have in your food, in your hands, in your pocket. It's already with you. This is something, yes, if you get extra marks, bonus marks beyond your average, then that gives you the best rank. But in order to get some rank or the other, this is something which is completely in your hands. If you have not done this properly, yes, maybe in the personality test you can take certain risk and try to outperform others. But if you have done really very good in this one, you don't need to outperform in personality test. Even if you get an average score also, you'll be getting very good rank. But what is there in your hands finally? This is the one, not that one. You getting me? Okay? Because here is something, of course, later on UPSC normalized all the things and ensured that these kind of patterns will not be repeated. Okay, like 65 mark kind of pattern will not be repeated. Okay, so all said and done, but still they are all human beings. They are all human beings. There will always be certain human factors there in interview. But human factors generally will not be there here. Human mistakes generally will not happen here. Are you getting my point? And this is something which is completely in your hands, and try to exploit this one. It's not optimizing your score, you maximize your score in mains. Don't try to optimize. Optimizations comes here. If you got less marks, suppose if you assume that mains I think I got less marks, I did not perform very well, but still I cleared mains. It means maybe I would have cleared in border marks. But if you get average in personality test, you are not going to get a rank. So you have to maximize there. That is optimization. Okay, but what I am talking here is the maximization should start here and optimization should go here. Okay, because you need to get a rank. When you need to get a rank, if you maximize the score here, don't optimize here. Okay, maximize here. So in mathematics, optimization, maximization, minimization, that's a concept. I'm not talking about mathematics. Okay, in terms of a regular parlance. Okay, here is the place where don't try for clearing mains examination always. Never ever try for clearing mains. Don't try to clear mains with a border mark. No. Always try to clear mains with bonus marks. How much of bonus marks? 50 bonus marks, 100 bonus marks, or 150 bonus marks above the cutoff. I'm talking about above the cutoff. Don't go with the cutoff mark. Always go with the bonus marks. Minimum bonus. I used to get minimum 80 to 100 bonus marks above cutoff in my mains exam. Every time. 3 times I went, 3 times I got minimum. One time it was 67 something like, and then one of the times it was 100 and plus also. But still I could not get the rank because of interview mark. That's a different story. Okay. If you get mark below average, you will not get final rank in the interview. But what is in your hands? This is always in your hands. Even if you get average score in personality test, these days more than 90% of the candidates are getting average scores. 140 to 150. Everyone is getting 140 to 150. No one is getting 60 marks. Okay. My scenario is not there today. Had I got the same 140 marks, I would have been in service with my kind of mains marks. Are you getting it? So the point today is that this is already normalized. Almost an average mark everyone is getting. Getting above average, we'll see it later. How to outperform there. Okay. But what is more important? What is in your hands? It's mains exam. Now you have to outperform everyone in mains examination. How is that possible? The best performance here is going to give you the rank. How is it possible? This is the time. Very, very important time. This is the time. As soon as you write your mains examination, May 26, whatever time available for you, 3.5 or 4 months, or whatever time available at your disposal, 27th onwards I am talking. Okay, very, very important. Not a single day you can miss. May 27th onwards, till the time you write your mains examination, this time frame you have to utilize exclusively for revisions and practice, but nothing else. You cannot read new things. You cannot read new books. You cannot read new material given by your best of your friends. Or you cannot read any of the new materials given by the previous rankers. The ranker's material, notes, let me read no for all of them. The only material that you are going to read in this juncture is your notes. Your notes, no, nothing else. Your notes. Whatever you already prepared. When did you prepare? We'll see it later. I'm coming from here actually. I'm not starting from here. I'm slowly coming back. Okay? Right? So whatever you are going to read in this time frame has to be your notes. Nothing else. You should have by the time already prepared your notes. Okay, only your notes, plus revisions plus practice of all the test series that you want to. Someone is talking about test series, right? How many test series we'll see it later, but practice. The more you do revisions plus practice, the better would be your performance in mains examination. Obviously, right? This is quite common sense. The more revisions, more practice, again writing practice, okay, test practice, then the best performance you are going to perform in your mains examination, which is going to give you good rank. That is something which you have to always understand. What new things that you have to do? Only new things that you are going to read, current affairs, nothing else. Suppose someone would say that I have read Bakshi, polity general people follow Lakshmikant, right? Right? It's a standard book almost. It's kind of a book like a Bible for polity, Indian polity, for civil services. Okay. But the point is, okay, fine. Someone who read some other book. Before mains examination, he wanted to Lakshmikant. No. He read Lakshmikant. Someone told you should have actually read Bakshi because it has got the original content of the constitution and the law is there in that. Why don't you read that? Don't read that. Don't read any new books. Whatever you read, well and good. With that, you would have already created your notes. Well and good. Stick on to the notes. For that year, you cannot go beyond it. For that year. That year, that's it. Maybe for next year, we'll see it later. But let us try to crack this year. Na? For this particular year, if you really want to crack this mains examination, whatever you already have, only that is something which you have to revise. No new things. Only new things would be current affairs, nothing else. Is that clear? Now let us come to prelims exam. This is especially for those people who are preparing for the first attempt. Minimum time required is 3 months. So I have taken May also into this. Okay, fine. So minimum time required for you to focus on prelims exam is 3 months. First attempt is. I'm not talking about second attempt guys, third attempt guys. Okay. Minimum time. March, April, May. Exclusive focus on prelims. Nothing else. Exclusive focus on prelims. Since prelims is considered to be one of the toughest for so many people because of whatever blah 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 reasons. Okay. Minimum time you have to spend is 3 months. And even in this 3 months also, what you are going to do only again revisions and practice only, but nothing else. Revisions and practice of what? Whatever you already learned and whatever notes that you have already created. And the only new things would be current affairs. Now, what is left with you then? Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to learn, whatever notes that you want to prepare, whatever textbook that you want to prepare. Are you getting that? Everything has to be completed by end of February. You don't have time much beyond that. But this attempt, this is the deadline. This attempt. If you are attempting for 2025, plan separately for that. Don't merge 24 plan with 25 plan. No. 25 plan is a different plan. 24 plan is a different plan. So you first decide which year you want to write your exam. Based on that, you have to find out a plan for that. So the planning is important. We are talking about the plan, right? Okay. The planning is important. But first decide on which year that you are going to crack. Based on that, you have to plan your strategy. Okay. Now, if it is 2024, let us assume that 2024. Okay. Let us not talk about 25. Let us talk about 24. Okay. Because the next exam is 24 exam. Feasibility is 24. So by end of February, you have to complete at any cost whatever new learnings that you are going to start from now onwards. How much time is available? August almost done. 4 months, 2 months, 6 months at your disposal. 6 months at your disposal. Literally, it is 6 months. You have only 6 months. Rest of the time, forget about it. That is meant for something else. Now, in 6 months, that you have to complete all your learnings for this exam. Prelims, GS1, GS2, CSAT, mains essay, 4 papers of GS, 2 optional papers. Are you getting that? All of them, 9. All of them you have to complete in a span of 6 months. Don't think that you are going to write next year, therefore next year. It looks to be next year, so much of time, but you don't have time actually. If it is 2024 that you want to crack this examination, I'm not trying to frighten you. I'm just trying to warn you guys. As a precautionary measure, I'm trying to tell you beforehand. This is what the time frame that you have. Okay? Yes, we can do some kind of small compromises because I don't have 12 months time or 10 months time, right? For someone who started in the month of January or February, imagine. We started a batch in the month of February this year. Why we started? We are not fools that we start so early batch. Okay? Because of this reason only. Now there is one more thing. Okay? The best ideal way of planning your macro level plan, the ideal way, you know what is that? You should have completed all your learnings by end of October only, not February. You know why? Because before you actually start your prelims preparation, exclusive prelims preparation, you should have actually these 2 months and these 2 months, you should have actually gone for revision, small amount of practice, plus main importantly, creation of your notes. The consolidated notes. This is exclusively meant for mains again. That means before you actually start your prelims preparation, the exclusive preparation for prelims, you should have actually completed your mains preparation beforehand. I think someone was asking, before prelims, when we should have actually completed mains, right? That is the 4 months actually. That 4 months, you know what you should be doing? Whatever you learned till here, okay? Now you revise them. Some kind of daily practice or weekly practice is required. Along with that, you should create your revision notes. Revision notes. I was talking here, right? Here or here, you should be revising. What is that you are going to revise here? That revision note that you created for yourself is something which you are going to revise. Are you getting that? If I'm telling you, for any kind of an aspirant, if someone could actually complete their mains preparation in these 4 months, no one can stop them to crack this year exam. No one can stop them. I'm pretty clear on this one. Okay? Before you actually start your prelims preparation, if you have already completed your mains preparation, what is the meaning of completing mains preparation? Completing your preparation means whatever reference books or materials that you want to prepare, you would have studied them. Plus, you should have created notes for yourself. Plus, current affairs related for that particular content. Current affairs related also you would have read. Plus, all these together you should have consolidated. What is consolidation here? Consolidation means, suppose you started your preparation now. In the class, something is happening. So, for example, fundamental rights is discussed. In polity, fundamental rights is there. Fundamental rights is discussed in class. So, you will be having class notes. You'll go home. When you go home or a library or a study hall, what you do, you're going to open Lakshmikant. Okay? Lakshmikant, fundamental rights you will read. You'll get some extra points, suppose. Those extra points also you write in the notes. Okay? Next. Over a period of time, when you are starting reading newspapers or some other magazines, current affair magazines, something, a new development happened on fundamental rights. Some new judgment has come. Some new interpretation of the Constitution has come by Supreme Court on fundamental rights. What you are going to do? You are going to put it here again. So all these class notes, reference material notes, current affair notes, so many things come. All these things should be at one place. Very good. Till here. In this time frame, when you read fundamental rights, you are not just going to stop reading only your notes, class notes. You are going to read the reference books notes that you have taken. You are going to read even the current affairs notes, right? All of them you have to consolidate and put it in one paper. So entire fundamental rights will come in one simple paper. One paper. That is your revision notes. That is your revision notes I'm talking. That revision notes you are going to revise here or here. Once you created your revision notes, you are not going to refer to class notes. You are not going to refer to textbooks. You are not going to refer to any damn thing. You are going to revise only the reference notes, revision notes, nothing else. And more number of revisions of that notes, it will stay here. It will consolidate here slowly. Number of revisions that you are going to make is more important here. It's not just revisions again. Along with the revisions, you have to do that practice. When you practice that, practice itself is one revision. Practice itself is a revision, trying to recollect what is there in your mind and putting it on paper. Writing practice anyway is there, but it's again a kind of a revision. Okay? That exercise is more important. For this to be most effective, these two parts to be most effective, by this time you should have actually completed all your revisions of mains and you should have actually created revision notes also. Now you tell me how much time you have. On the time, and I am disappointed and I'm trying to tell you like what is the importance of time here. Where you are today. To be frank with you guys, you are already late. You are already late, clear. Okay? But that means by October, someone should have actually completed all their original learnings. Some things might be pending. Those pendings and all the original learnings, you have to revise here in this 4 months. Complete your revision notes. This preparation is actually meant for most effective preparation of these periods. If you don't have this, what happens? Assuming that someone has not prepared their revision notes here. Now what happens? These 3 months you have to prepare the entire material again. And in these 3 months you are actually preparing your revision notes also. Right? In these 3 months, you are actually not only preparing all these things. If someone tells that, read that material also, read that material also, the extra materials, you will be reading that. Here you have a chance to read that extra material. In the process of revision of mains, you have the process, you have additional time available, therefore you can actually read additional materials also here. Finally, but you have to consolidate everything, put it on paper. That is the paper which you are going to revise for fundamental rights, but you are not going to refer to any of the books. That's how your preparation is. I am talking about ideal preparation. I just mentioned already it's an ideal preparation. This is the best thing that you can do for your preparation. Then no one can stop you in cracking this 2024 examination. If you already completed this revision notes here, no one can stop. If surprisingly some of you have already done all these exercises, coachings, one round of preparation, then I'm telling you, this in fact, this 4 months, you can actually make this as the 4 months, September, October, November, December. Okay? And then this 5 months, you can take it as exclusive prelims preparation if it is first timer. Possible. These are all possible things. We can actually manage this 4 months. But provided by August and by this time, you should have actually completed your entire one round of preparation. It might be attending the entire coaching, or at home you would already completed your preparation. That means the entire syllabus, you have the syllabus, right? You know everything about the syllabus. Something about the syllabus at least, if not everything. Something about every term of the syllabus. Then, yes, now you start creating your revision notes. If you don't create your revision notes, I am telling you, not possible. Of course, there might be some of the rankers who would have told that I never created revision notes. That might have worked for only that single individual, not for everyone. Am I clear? Revision notes, importance of revision notes. Revision notes is mandatory, I'm telling you. We are regular human beings. Okay? There are certain people, once they read, they remember everything. At least I am not like that. When I read, I remember, but I forget many things for a period of time. Unless I revise, I cannot recollect. Unless I practice, I cannot recollect. That's my problem. I believe I am as good as any of you guys. Everyone is like that, except very, very few individuals who can remember whatever they read. They can recollect whatever they read. They can write whatever they read. But those guys, I don't think so. They are suitable for civil service exam, I'm telling you. Okay, leave them aside. Okay, practical scenario is that you need multiple revisions. The more number of revisions, more practice is going to give you the best marks here. Of course, prelims also requires that revisions and practice, but it's an exclusive prelims preparation because it's statement based. It's statement based. Okay, here you need to identify right answer, but here you have to write the answer. Na? Every point you have to write. At least in the previous case prelims, they are giving the points. You just need to identify which is right, which is wrong. But here it is not like that. You have to remember all the points and write. So there are two different types of preparation, but common underlying factor is there. Is this clear, this point? Clear? Okay. Now, as far as you guys are concerned, assuming that till today, you did not do anything on civil service preparation, assuming that day. Now, starting my preparation from 1st of September, can I crack this exam in 2024? Two scenarios. Okay? Two scenarios. Okay? That all depends upon you guys. A syllabus which generally is covered in 8.5 to 10 months, that has to be covered in 6 months now. Maybe to some extent extendable up to March or first 1 or 2 weeks of April. 7 to 7.5 months. Covering the syllabus is not such a difficult affair as far as the institute is concerned. But are you ready to absorb all the things? Number one. Number two, these revisions and practice also have to go parallelly along with your preparation. Plus, when you are doing that revisions and practice, you should also create your revision notes parallelly. Are you getting my point? So, what you missed, I'm telling you, all these days, if you can do all these things together, like not only learning, along with learning that new knowledge that you are going to learn. If you attend classes, or you read some material, or if you read some reference books, or you listen to some other videos in YouTube, or you listen to some Rajya Sabha TV or Lok Sabha TV, okay? And then any other kind of content that you have seen, trying to learn things, all these things, yes, it's going. Plus, along with that, you should also start revising things immediately. So every day it has to be not only learning, every day has to be revisions also. Number three, every day, not only learnings, revisions, it also has to have this practice, daily practice. Daily revisions, daily practice, okay? And then you should also start creating your revision notes from now itself. All should go parallel, not one after the other. Someone who started their preparation way back, for them it's okay. They had enough time. But for you kind of a guys, if you really want to crack 2024 examination, if assuming that this is day one of your preparation, then learnings, revisions, practice, and creating your revision notes all have to go parallelly. Then you can crack prelims and then you can crack mains exam. That is possible in that case. Or otherwise not possible. I am clear. You just need to clear your mind, that's it. Understood? Suppose someone who want to prepare for 2025, from here or here, whatever you feel like, depending on you, how much time you require for revision of mains. Some require 4 months, some require 6 months, that's all. Copy, paste. Clear, huh? See, this is the minimum thing that you have to do for this examination. It's not like, let me keep on reading. You said like, sir, first let me clear my prelims exam. You're saying that, right? No. It's not about prelims exam. Okay, it's all about you take time for this preparation. Don't be in a haste to decide like, yes, I started my preparation, the first year I will crack this exam. Nothing wrong in thinking those lines. But to crack in 2024 examination, what is important for you? How to plan it. Okay, this kind of a macro view you need to have in order to crack this 24 exam. If not, just keep on reading, just keep on sometimes writing the test series. No. You might crack prelims because of some reason, but you cannot crack mains. See, we people have become such a level of experts that even if you come to me in the month of March also, I can give you techniques to crack prelims. Provided you do what we suggest you to do. Not everyone can do that again, I'm telling you. I'll give you such an example. One of my students, he was, I don't want to mention the names, gem of a guy. He's from IIT Bombay. So since his first year of graduation, he was just visiting me. Somewhere in the back of his mind, civil services is there. But if he just comes and meets me, I will not entertain him, right? So he used to come with a proposal every time. Sir, in my IIT Bombay, we are doing like this. So I can create a notebook for you. You can distribute these notes to your students. So he used to tell different technology in that. I used just to listen to him. I just used to entertain because this is a very young chap, very brilliant chap, and he's trying to convince me at my age. So I thought like he's a brilliant chap. So after 4 years of his graduation, he felt like, sir, I want to prepare for civil services. I said, why suddenly civil services? We have very good job opportunities, right? No, sir, my father is doing business. I can go into that business or I can go to any job. But I just want to try civil services. Because he was in touch with me for 4 years, therefore he just wanted to try. But I never told him prepare for civil services, he just told me. Then I said, why unnecessarily wasting your time? Civil service is not meant to try. If you're serious about this preparation, I will give you a game plan, you prepare accordingly. He came in the month of March. I'm talking about almost 8-9 years back. Not now, okay? Month of March. I told him, which year you want to write the exam? This year? I said, not possible. Why you are unnecessarily forcing yourself to prepare for this year? I'll give a beautiful strategy for you to crack in the very first attempt, but next year, not this year. No, sir, I have to write this year. You tell me how to crack this year only. I told him again, you're doing a mistake. I can give you a plan to crack prelims, but not mains. Mains, it might work or it might not work. Okay, because mains requires not just techniques of prelims. It is bigger than that. It's a very huge one. It's bigger than that. You need a lot many other skills also. Okay, which see, generally engineer is not good at writing. Obviously, right? I'm also an engineer. We are not good at writing unless you actually practice writing. You start writing, do a lot of practice. It takes a lot of time to get expertise in the writing, and then you can write a better answer. But that much time he doesn't have now. And he has to choose an optional subject beyond this general studies, but he's a gem of a guy, no doubt in that. Okay, so I made a proper plan for him. I told him like whatever you read, you should go here and also practice immediately. So the learning, revisions and practice going parallelly for him. Okay, so not the entire syllabus, we have selected based on the trend that we had at that time. I'm talking about 8-9 years back. There is a trend, right? Every year we can find the trend. Based on that trend, I told him these are the important areas. These many questions should come. For these many questions should come. So we optimized everything and gave him a minimal plan. He just did that. He cleared prelims. And I told him also, next year, if you want to write this examination, this strategy will not work. Another point is that if you don't believe in my way of telling you things that this year it is going to be suicidal, let us go for next year. You know why it is suicidal again? The plan that I told him, prelims he can clear, mains he cannot clear, obviously he doesn't have optional with him. Okay, he cannot clear. That guy definitely would try to attempt next year. That's a suicidal again. It is something called as a failure cycle. You heard about Uma Harati, right, just now? Uma Harati, it's 5th attempt that she cracked. 5th attempt she cracked, okay? For her, prelims is very easy. She just clears prelims just like that. Used to clear. First 3 attempts, she cleared very easily. First attempt, second attempt, third attempt. Third attempt, she went to interview. She could not do it properly. Same thing I told you, right? It's mains marks which are important. Mains marks, you have to get the bonus marks. If you just clear mains examination with border mark, it's dicey. Unless you get very high marks in interview, you cannot get it. She got average mark in interview, but decently. Better than average, but still she could not clear mains interview. Third attempt. You know what happened in 4th attempt? She could not clear even prelims also. That was the luckiest part for her. Because she could not clear prelims, now she got ample amount of time for her to reframe herself and started reinventing herself. She started from zero again. Now she made a proper plan. See, this entire plan from here, May it starts, right? From May, she made a proper plan to crack this year examination and she cracked it. Why she was not able to crack from beginning? Because every time it was a piecemeal approach. Prelim she was able to crack, mains failure, taking some selective part and trying to write mains examination, not able to clear first time mains. Okay, second time also similar kind of a problem. Third time somehow she cleared mains, border mark, because there is no plan. There is no plan there. She could not clear interview, of course, whatever the reason. But now that she got time, IIT Mumbai also, I told similar kind of a story. I was into the trap of a failure cycle. So every time you fail because you're not well equipped with all the weapons. Every time you're taking a piecemeal approach. That doesn't work in civil services. You need to have a proper plan like this where you can crack this exam. That single strike, you have to clear this exam. That is possible only if you have a proper plan. Okay. Now what happened? That guy could clear prelims. Mains he could not clear. But somewhere he had the feeling that I could clear prelims so easily. I think mains also I can clear because all the stars are in my line. Some people believe that my luck is so good that all the stars are in line, therefore I can clear mains also. Okay, so he was waiting for results, did not do anything because he has a hope that his answer might be liked by the evaluator very much. So he was waiting. February, he got the result, mains result, he could not clear. Now what happened? He has to prepare for next year exam. February done, March, same story, last year's story repeated. Obviously, na? Again, he has got 3 months of time for prelims. There was no comprehensive preparation till now. Are you understanding? There is no comprehensive preparation till now. It was just piecemeal approach. Right? This time, he could not even clear prelims. Why? I already told him. The strategy that I am giving is only for this year, not for next year. If it works, well and good. It might not work the same year also. Because it's just a chance, right? It's just a chance. It's just a chance. Okay? We give a strategy, it works well and good. It doesn't work also well and good because it's just a chance. Every year we cannot give 100% assurance there. So are you getting my point? That's how it happened. That guy fell into the failure cycle. He could not clear prelims. Next year also, he did not understand what I was telling in the because see what happens now. Students generally, even I might be like that. Once you clear prelims first time, you get this. You understand what is this? People get into service, they'll get bigger one. They lose that rationality. Nothing wrong with them basically. Nothing wrong with their personality. This general mindset of a candidate. Because our age, the age is like that. At my age, we don't get that kind of a thing. But your age, you get that. Unless otherwise, you have a proper upbringing where all these kinds of things are taken care of already in the upbringing, which rarely happens. Okay, whatever it is. But don't fall into that failure cycle. I'm telling you. If you fall into the failure cycle, you are gone. How to come out of the failure cycle? Give a break in one of the attempts. Give a break in. Luckily, Uma Harati, fourth attempt, she could not clear prelims. Had she cleared prelims in fourth attempt, she is already in the cycle, na? Or get my point. She might be clearing mains again. She'll go to interview, but not with the bonus marks. Na? The bonus marks, if you don't get that bonus marks, what is the use of it? So don't ever think like, first let me clear prelims. Then next year I will think of mains. Next year I will think of interview. These things doesn't work. I'm telling you, civil services not like that. Civil services, single strike, hit it, but hit it hard, properly. Meticulous planning. Not saying it every day it should have a meticulous planning. I'm not talking about that. You should have a view what you're going to do. Next April, what I'll be doing. Next January, what I'm doing. You should have some idea on that. What is that I'm going to do in the next January? This is the macro level view, and this is the plan which is required, at least if not by September, October, November, December, January, February. If I'm telling you, if you have this in your hold, that attempt, no one can stop you. But even if you don't have this also, but if you start your preparation, today is the day one, but still there is a possibility. But the same possibility, I cannot assure you in the month of December. Are you getting my point? The only assurance I can give you is that learning, revisions, practice, creating your revision notes, all should go parallel. Then it works. Or else it doesn't work for 2024 exam. Clear now? Can I rub this part? Okay. Then I have questions ఇక్కడ కొద్దిగా భయపడుతూ ఉంటాను నేను అప్పుడప్పుడు. బట్ దిస్ ఈస్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఫర్ యూ టు నో ఇట్ ఫస్ట్. భయపడడం కన్నా యూ షుడ్ నో ఇట్. డోంట్ ఫాల్ ఇన్ టు దట్ ఫెయిల్యూర్ సైకిల్. డోంట్ బీ ఇన్ ఏ హేస్ట్ టు క్లియర్ దిస్ ఇయర్ ఎగ్జామ్. బట్ ప్లాన్ ఇట్. Plan it properly, then you can crack it. Anyway, let us move forward in this. So this is a slide which is whatever I discussed till now. Some of the elements will appear in this one as well. Okay. Civil service preparation as good as any other examination, a competitive examination. Civil service preparation also will have some learnings. Okay, what are these learnings? How do you know what to learn, what not to learn, what to read, what not to read? It comes from the syllabus. Clear cut. It's not just me, it is saying that. It's basic rule of the game is this one. UPSC basic rule of the game is, there is a syllabus there. You read it within the syllabus. Don't go outside the syllabus. Every question till now appeared from the syllabus. Not a single question went outside the syllabus till today. Okay? How to read it? How to read it? Refer to previous year question papers. Okay? Now I'm telling you, day one when you start your preparation, it's not about how much you are reading. How much you are reading. No one cares. Whatever small amount that you are reading should be in this part, which is in syllabus. Okay? Whatever you read should be read in such a way that you will be able to answer previous year questions on that topic. Same, fundamental rights, suppose. Okay? Fundamental rights, is it part of the syllabus? Yes, what to read? Fundamental rights is part of the syllabus. How to read fundamental rights? First, you read it first. The way you want to read, you read it first. Okay? Then, now refer to previous question papers. When you refer to previous question papers, if you are able to answer the previous questions, then the way you have read is good. If you're not able to answer the previous questions on fundamental rights, the way you are reading itself is wrong. Something wrong with your reading only. Something wrong with the way you are understanding fundamental rights. Something wrong with the way you have to interpret the fundamental rights to understand the way UPSC is asking questions. Because UPSC directly don't ask a question just like that. They give statements always. So all the three statements you should be able to understand on fundamental rights. Fundamental rights means not on all fundamental rights they are going to ask a question. Article 19, Article 21 suppose. On one of the fundamental rights, consider the following statements regarding Article 21. 1, 2, 3 statements. Okay. So whatever UPSC is asking, those 3 statements you should understand first of all. You should know whether they are right or wrong. Just now you have read. Just now you have read, right? That means at least you should be able to understand it properly to answer the previous question papers, right? Without these two, your preparation is directionless, obviously useless. Getting my point? So this has to happen on daily basis. It means that when you start reading, when you open the book, suppose, even Lakshmikant or any other book that when you open, first to see, is it part of our what to read? That means, is it part of your syllabus or not? You should be able to relate it to the syllabus. Always keep your syllabus with you. Number 1. Number 2, first you read it first time. Okay? As soon as you read any topic on that day only, suppose 1 hour it took to read some preamble, suppose. First topic is preamble, suppose. 1 hour it took to know about the preamble. Now, immediately refer to previous year question papers on preamble only. On preamble, nothing else. Don't look at fundamental rights. When you're reading preamble, don't look at fundamental rights. You look at only preamble only. Preamble, previous year questions. Try to answer them. If you're able to answer those questions, very good. Not able to answer the questions, you have to reread it in a way the questions were already asked. How to reread the same thing? Not the way you have read previously. No. Now you try to understand how a question is being asked in UPSC because you already know the previous year questions, right? Are you getting that? That is how you have to read your books. Don't keep on reading them. I'm telling you, the more you read, the useless time that you spent on books. More useless time. The less you read, but you read with this mindset. With this mindset. The mindset is such a way that any previous question asked on that topic, you should be able to answer. That should be the basic rule of the game here. Once you start doing that, any new topic that comes also, then you'll be understanding like, UPSC generally thinks in those lines. Therefore, the new topic that you are reading also, you start reading the way UPSC is expecting you to read. That happens only if you look at the previous questions. Is this clear? Point, simple thing. Okay. This is something which we already discussed, but I've just put it in a proper pattern here. Look at some questions also. If you want to really look at some questions, sample questions, which I did not ask, UPSC already asked these questions. Okay. Sample previous questions. Okay. 2019 or 2022 or 2018. Every question is part of the syllabus. Every question is part of the syllabus. Some of the questions get repeated, some of the questions are direct, some of the questions are indirect, some of the questions need a lot of analysis. Okay? Some of them are dynamic questions, whatever it might be. I'll just throw some light on questions, the way UPSC is asking questions. Look at this one. Assess, discuss, see, how can it improve, under what circumstances, what consequences. See, the way UPSC generally uses those keywords, we call them as questioning keywords. Allotment, elucidate, illustrate, discuss, examine, critically examine, elaborate, critically elaborate. So these are the certain keywords to ask a question. Anyway, look at this one. Assess the role of British imperial power in complicating the process of transfer of power during 1940s. 250 words, 15 marks. See, everyone knows that British imperial power transferred power to India in 1940s. So 47 we got independence, right? There is a process actually. Always there is a process of transfer of power. It's not like one fine day I think of it and then I give independence. It doesn't happen like that. One fine day, okay? There is a process involved in that, okay? That process happened since 1940s, beginning of 1940s, whatever. Now the question is about complicating that process. It's not about what is the process. You know what students do? Most of the students, you know what they write? They write the entire process of transfer of power. That is not asked, right? What is asked? It is what is the role of Britishers in complicating the process. So they did not create a simple process of transfer of power. They actually complicated it. That is something which you have to address here. UPSC is very specific in this one. Okay, transfer of power happened. It's a fact. It's a factual thing. It's a static content. But there is a lot of analysis that you have to do on the static content based on which you can write the answer for this one. So it's not just static content which is important. A lot of analysis is required on the static content which is important. Okay, or maybe discuss the role of vice president. This is damn direct question. Discuss the role of Vice President of India as the Chairman of Rajya Sabha. One of the roles of Vice President of India is the Chairman of Rajya Sabha. He heads the Rajya Sabha. Okay. Now discuss the role of that. That's a small question. This is a direct question. Generally, UPSC directly never asks those kind of questions, but it is asking. See, okay, 2022, latest year. Okay. The Attorney General is the chief legal advisor and lawyer of the government of India. Discuss. Direct question. Everyone who teaches polity, who reads polity, any textbook who has written polity textbook, they will discuss these things without fail. And you know them, direct questions 15 markers. Generally, direct questions would be given for a 15 marker, not, sorry, what is that? A 10 marker generally, but luckily, Attorney General is given for a 15 marker. Happens. Okay. Biotechnology to improve the living standards of farmers. See, very clear. Biotechnology, so many applications of biotechnology, but I don't want all those applications. I want only applications specific to farmers and their living standards, how to improvise them. Okay. Financial emergency. Okay. Yeah. See, all of them are the topics which are directly given in the syllabus. Direct syllabus. But if you keep on reading British Imperial Power 1940s, if you read that Modern India book, they keep on telling you the process, this committee, that committee, that committee, something happened. Okay, there's a series of events that happened. You read the series of events. Do you think directly you are going to answer this question if you just read the series of events? Unless there is some kind of thought process going into that. Okay, some kind of analysis that worked on that a series of events. Unless that happens, you cannot answer this question. In the examination hall, you cannot keep on thinking and then start analyzing things and then start writing the answer for this. Not possible. Even Uma Harti was telling that point. I don't know if you listen to that lecture, that small bite properly. You don't have time to think in the examination hall. Whatever you want to think, you think beforehand. Before going to examination hall. In the examination, you don't have time. You have to keep on writing, nothing else. And she is correct, 100% correct. You know why? Look at this one. Simple logic. 250 marks paper, right? There are 10 questions which are 10 markers. There are 10 questions which are 15 markers. So you can see 10 marker questions, you can see 15 marker questions, right? Okay. So this amounts to 100 marks, this amounts to 150 marks, totaling 250. Okay. What is the 10 marker number of words? 10 marker is 150 words. Okay, 15 marker is 250 words. 10 into 150. 10 into 250. 4,000 words you have to write in 3 hours. 180 minutes. Impossible. Literally, I'm telling impossible. No one would have written till now. Okay. Now, look at the same thing in essay. Essay paper. 125 marks. 2 essays you have to write. 125 marks each, 250. Each of the essay, how many words? Have you ever seen the question paper? I will tell you. 800 to 1000 words. Each of the essay. Into 2, suppose highest you take into 2, how much? In a span of again, UPSC itself knows it. The maximum that you can write is 2000 or maybe 2000. If you are very speed, we have a high level of speed in writing, maximum is 2500. But how much they are telling here? Is it possible for someone to write 4000 words in UPSC final exam? Impossible. UPSC also knows it. Now that's the point where I'm trying to tell you guys. There is no time for you to think in the examination hall. First point. Okay. Second point I was telling in the beginning. Brevity in writing answers. Instead of 150 words, you try to write it in 75 to 90 words only. Why you should write 150 words? Because he mentioned 150 words, you should write 150 words or what? The content that you can write in 150 words, if you are able to write it in 75 or 100 words or less than 100 words, content is same, na? But you are able to write in minimum number of words. Brevity is there. Your answer is more beautiful compared to that 150 words. Is it or not? Instead of 250 words, you write it in 150 words. I mean, who asked you to write 250 words? You don't require to write, use the entire space for 250 words and write the entire answer. No. If, suppose there are 10 points to be discussed in 250 words, all the 10 points, if you can discuss in 150 words, do you think that you'll get less marks? No. You just told all the 10 pointers, right? You should be getting all the marks. Whether you mention it in 150 words or 250 words. But if you write for 250 words, you are wasting your time. Because in that another 100 words, you would have written another answer, na? Another 10 marker you would have written, right? Are you getting my point? First of all, you don't have time to think also. You don't have time to write also. Now, what's the best thing that you can do? Brevity in writing answers. When do you get that brevity in writing answers? Practice, 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 practice. Nothing else. Revisions and practice, revisions and practice, revisions and practice. Try to use the nomenclature or terminology related to the subject in your answers. Polity has its own terminology which it can be reflected in answers. Economy has its own terminology, it has to be reflected in your answers. When you keep on writing in your own words, it will be 250 words. Try to use the terminology, it becomes 150 words. Are you getting that? So, just don't rely on whatever is mentioned. 150 words, therefore I have to write 150 words. No, not at all. If you write in 100 words, you are a better person, right? Compared to other person. That's how it is. Anyway, there are some sample questions. So some more sample questions also I'll be giving you. Let us not spend too much time on these questions. How to read kind of questions. Okay, previous one were what to read kind of questions, what not to read. I'm trying to tell you that everything is part of your syllabus only. Okay, how to read because most of the times if you see, at least majority of the questions are based on current affairs, current relevant things. For example, okay, we'll take aspirational districts in India. Why that question was asked in 2018? Because it was in 2018 that the concept of aspirational districts has come into picture in India. It's an Indian concept. Okay, aspirational districts. What are these aspirational districts? Anyone? Idea on that? These days it has come into news a lot of times. Aspiration districts are, it looks to be very positive word, right? Aspirational districts. That's the beauty of these days, actually. These days, everyone is coining the words in a way that it reflects a lot of positivity in it. Actually, what are aspirational districts? Lowest level of literacy, poverty levels, health levels, education levels. In any standard, they are the lowest level of districts are identified in India. Those districts, we call them as aspirational districts, very big term, right? You know why? Because the government of India want all these lowest level of districts to be brought into highest level. In terms of all those parameters like poverty, health, education, employment. So in all these human indicators, we call them as human indicators, okay? All these indicators, they want to bring them to this level. So we aspire these districts to come up to this level. Those are those aspirational districts. Very good term, right? Very good concept also, okay? It has been coined in 2018, therefore you got a very beautiful question on that. Okay? Explain the nature of convergence, collaboration, and competition for its success. Those are the terms used there. Okay? Okay. Again, impact of work from home. Why it is asked in 2022? Everyone understands it. It has to be latest. It's latest one. Obviously, you'll get a question. Okay, nothing wrong. And it is also impact of work from home on family relationships, not on productivity or not on economy of India. Okay, so on family relationships. So it is a society-based issue, a social issue. Okay, that's what it is. And then why IRNSS, Indian Regional Navigational Satellite System? Obviously asked in 2018 because it is in current affairs. See, unless when you are reading newspaper also, when you are reading, for example, I'll give one more thing. I don't know whether I mentioned this. I did not mention it here. I think I removed this. I kept on changing these questions based on the years. One question which was asked in 2016, 2016. Okay, the question was, pulses was declared as, 2016 is declared as Year of Pulses by United Nations. Pulses. What is this year? Millets. This year is declared as millets. Millets, Year of Millets. 2016 was declared as Year of Pulses. Okay. So a question was, the statement is given like that. United Nations declared 2016 as Year of Pulses. Question is, what is the importance of growing of pulses in India? What a simple question it is. इतना simple question कभी भी नहीं पूछ सकते हैं UPSC. But UPSC has asked that question. Why it asked that question that year? 2016? Obvious reason. And now you can actually expect the same question on millets this year. Or similar kind of a question. If I cannot say same question. A similar kind of a question this year mains examination. In September you have mains examination, you can expect a question on millets. Possible. That also means that when you're reading newspaper, you read newspaper in such a way that you also think in terms of what kind of questions UPSC is always asking on this topic. Refer to previous year questions. If suppose today, this year, no one referred to 2016 ka question paper, no one referred, suppose. They know this year is declared a year of millets. That is a general knowledge question. 2023, what is year is declared as Year of Dash by United Nations. Fill in the blanks, everyone can do that. Year of Millets. But what kind of a question UPSC would expect on the millets? That you have to start expecting. In those lines, you have to find answers for those questions. Getting my point? Election Commission. Electronic voting machines. Every day you see these things in Election Commission, electronic voting machine. This year is very important. If not this year, next year it is too much important. Obviously, because you are having elections next year, right? Organic state, again, very, very beautiful question that was asked in 2018. In 2018, Sikkim was declared as organic state. Okay? There was a question in 2018. Sikkim is the first organic state in India. The question is, simple question, what are the ecological and economical benefits of see, this is one of the most simplest question you can ever see. Question is simple, but you should have already prepared for the question in the way UPSC is asking questions. Getting that? All current relevant, right? Anyway, clean energy is the order of the day. This could be India's changing policy towards climate change in various international, in the context of geopolitics, climate change. Okay, so many conventions happen on climate change, whatever. So, why Bose-Einstein statistics? Why that is asked in 2018? Bose-Einstein statistics. Professor Satyendranath Bose, 125th anniversary, death anniversary, I think, or I don't know. I didn't remember exactly. It's there in news, but that's a very tough question. Very, very tough question. Okay, because discuss the work of Bose-Einstein statistics. How would you understand it now? Some typical kind of question like this. Some of the questions generally people leave. Some people who understand science and technology properly, they are the people who understand this concept properly, and they can actually write a proper answer. Okay. Anyway. So there are always some of the topics which are important every year topics. So some topics every year. See, eradication of poverty. Every year. Since 1947 we have that problem. Okay. Question is also such a beautifully framed. Despite implementation of various programs for eradication of poverty by the government in India, poverty is still existing. The same question would have been asked even 10 years back also, 20 years back also, is it or not? What I'm trying to tell you is these are those important topics every year. Okay, caste system, very important. Formation of new states, important. Political and administrative reorganization of states. Formation of new states is something related to reorganization of states also earlier. At one point of time we had reorganization of states, right? Depleting groundwater resources. And then women, and then globalization on cultural homogeneity. See, these are all the topics I have been listening to them since my preparation in 1997. 1997, all these topics, the same questions are also relevant in 1997. Today, after next 10 years also, the same questions, maybe in a different form they would ask. The concept is same, but you need to understand how UPSC is asking question here. But definitely, there might be a question on eradication of poverty. But the way UPSC is framing the question, in those lines, you prepare the topic. Not just all the schemes you keep on ratamaro. No. Nothing would happen with all the schemes. Okay. What kind of schemes have come, based on what concept those schemes have come, why they failed, what government has done to modify that scheme or launch a new scheme or whatever they have done. Okay? The complete analysis of the entire story should have on eradication of poverty. Got it? That's how it should go. Anyway, let me move forward. See, this is just to show you that whatever we were discussing earlier, that is not just about keep on reading that is going to fetch you good marks or that is going to make you crack this examination. No way. There are a lot many things beyond that. Okay? Okay. Now this is something which I was already discussing, but anyway. So we have static content. We have dynamic content. Dynamic content means what? Current relevant ones. Okay? And in static content also we have analysis of static content. Remember the transfer of power has been complicated by the British. Okay? It's complete analysis of the static content only. And then we have dynamic content also, its analysis. Okay? And most important thing is, so many things in the examination hall, you cannot do all these analysis part. You have to remember everything. And how do you remember? Again, that's a big problem. Okay? Just give me 5 minutes. I will just explain how to do that. Okay? What's the time? Baapre. When did we start? 11:30. 11:30. Oh, almost 2 hours. Just give me 10 or 15 minutes time, we'll close this. Okay? Okay. I'll make it fast. I'll not explain each and every detail of the other slides because in the initial time, we actually spend a lot of time on other things. Okay? But let me complete this fast. Okay? This is not my chart. You can internet, Google, just type forgetting curve. You'll get exactly the same one. I just copy pasted here. Okay? What is this forgetting curve? Ebbinghaus forgetting curve is like a very old one. Out of a lot of survey that they have created this forgetting curve. Why I have to discuss this one? Because in the examination hall, one thing is you have to remember everything, you have to recollect everything, you have to write everything. Okay? And you don't have time to do analysis also. Therefore, analysis also you have to remember. And everything you have to write in a lot of practice. Okay? So if you understand what is forgetting mechanism, then you will understand how to remember it. How to reverse the forgetting mechanism. That's the idea here. Okay. The thing is like, this is x-axis, y-axis. Y-axis is the percentage that you can remember. X-axis is the time. As soon as, immediately means as soon as you just learn something, assuming that you are able to recollect 100%. Okay. Now, within 20 minutes, the recollection will become 58%. That means more than 40% you already forgot in a matter of, I am not telling this, okay, on research that it is told, okay. That means in just 20 minutes you will be forgetting more than 40%. In 1 hour, more than 50% is lost, 56% is lost in just 1 hour. That means as soon as class gets completed, you learn something, no? 100%, okay. So you are on your way to home. After half an hour, you already lost. In 1 hour, more than 50%, by the time you go home, suppose someone is in Kukatpalli, he came to attend class, he went back to Kukatpalli. By the time he went home, he only lost 50% of it. Okay? 9 hours, 1 day is nearly 70%. 1 month. 1 month, 80% is lost. We can't stop it. This is a decay process, a natural decay process which cannot be stopped as it is, but can be reversed. Decay is there, but can be reversed. How do you reverse that? Revision. Revision. When you revise this, it goes back. But again, the decay starts. Again, at this point, you revise it, again decay starts. That I'm showing it here. Decay, you cannot stop. It's there. You cannot stop. Decay means forgetting. Forgetting, you cannot stop. But what we can do is, suppose this is the actual forgetting curve. The previous one which we have discussed, right? The previous one. That is the one. Okay? I'm just putting it here. Okay? Now, the best possible way of, practical way of remembering everything, whatever you learn. I think that's what we require, right? Remembering everything, whatever you learn, is this process. Trying to reverse, beating the forgetting curve. We're trying to reverse it. So if this is the original curve, this is going to happen for everyone, for everything that you learn. Okay? In 10 minutes, you make first revision. 10 minutes means what? Very difficult actually. Because I complete the class and go. You close your eyes and then recollect everything. Whatever is being discussed in the last 2.5 hours, 2.5 hours. That is the repetition. Getting my point? Or else, before exiting the class, I revise everything. Getting that? I revise everything, whatever I discuss in the class. Or I exit the class. One of you come here and give the synopsis points of whatever is being discussed in the class. All of them work. It's the first revision. Okay? 1 day, 24 hours, second revision. That means what happened? First revision, what happened? Revision happened, therefore it came back to 100%. Again decay starts. Again decay means forgetting starts. But the rate of forgetting, if you see this curve and this curve is very steep drop that we have seen in the previous one, right? Very steep drop. But now there is no steep drop. Slightly bend like this. Again, one day you revise, again goes to 100%, but still decay. Again start forgetting. Again, the rate of forgetting is not so steep like this, a little bit trying to flatten. That is when you take second revision. Third revision, again decay. Fourth revision, again decay starts. Fifth revision, it goes like this. 5 times if you revise anything that you learned, 5 times that you revise properly with a time gap. Time gap should be, today you revise, tomorrow also you revise, useless. Today you revise, wait for 1 week and then revise again. And then 1 week, 24 hours revision, 1 week revision, 1 month revision, 3 months revision. With this time gap, if you revise for 5 times, you would never ever forget anything. If you see this one, if you draw a straight line, which is 100% one, it's not again 100% flat. Some gap is there again. Very minimal, very minimal. Okay? That is okay for us. That is okay for us. At least we have to give that natural habit of forgetting, right? That's good also to forget. If you remember everything throughout your life, at least what we want, only the content that we read, if I remember till the time I write the exam, that is good enough. After that I forget is okay for me. Okay? Anyway, but generally we don't forget. If 5 times if you revise with time gap, nothing like that. You know what is the best thing? Even better than this one? It's not just revision. Along with revision, you have to do practice also. That is the best one anyone can do. Along with revisions, if practice also is done. That means 10 minutes, as soon as the class gets completed, revise everything, I'll put a test on today's class. One thing. Second, 1 day, 24 hours. Okay? Next, tomorrow morning, as soon as the class gets completed, today's session, I'll put a test. That day session test plus today's session also test. Or both together one test. 1 week. Whatever happened in the last 7 days, we'll conduct a test on Sunday. 1 month. Whatever happened in the last 1 month, we'll conduct a test, monthly test. Last revision, 3 months, quarterly. What I have created, I created a program called as Abhyasa. I don't know how many of you heard about this. This is exactly Abhyasa. Abhyasa is all about daily test. This test. Weekly test. Fortnightly test which I created in between here. Because I want 5, therefore I created fortnightly. Monthly test. And then quarterly test. We have 5 varieties of test. 5 times, it's not just writing the test which is important. You have to revise, come and write the test. That is a program called as Abhyasa. Abhyasa is all about revisions and practice. If you remember the very initial discussion that we had, if you want to crack 2024 examination, what you have to do? Learnings, revisions, practice, and also revision notes. Okay? I cannot create your revision notes. You have to create your own revision notes. Learning is all about lectures. Revisions and tests is all about Abhyasa program. If you sincerely follow this one from now onwards, but if you come after 3 months and start, I cannot help it. Okay, you don't have time. At least you should have minimum time, right? To start some kind of a preparation to crack this exam. Okay. Now, if this is something which you follow daily, it also means that daily you have a test. In the weekends, you are going to have weekly, fortnightly, monthly, or quarterly tests. Obviously, right? You'll get, daily, you are going to have 10 MCQs plus 1 descriptive question. Based on the topic. If the topic is there for prelims and mains, you'll get MCQs as well as descriptive. If the topic is only for prelims, you'll get only MCQs. Topic is only for mains, you'll get only descriptive. Okay, that's how daily questions. And weekly numbers will increase, fortnightly numbers will increase, monthly and quarterly numbers will increase up to 100. 100 MCQs plus 20 descriptive questions. So it will be bigger length of question papers. Anyway, this is what it is. This is what the program of Abhyas all about. It completely based on, it's a scientific approach, completely based on the forgetting curve. How to beat this forgetting curve. We have one more this thing. This is all about spaced revisions. Spaced revisions. Spaced means in terms of time it is spaced. Spaced revisions are important. Anyway. Okay, any other questions here? How many?
How many months?
There is no hard and fast rule on how many months of current affairs that you have to learn. Minimum 1 year. Prelims exam, May, 1 year May. May to May, 1 year. Okay? Mains exam is September. September to September, 1 year. Got it now? Minimum. But 99% of the cases, that minimum is sufficient. Very rarely you will get a question beyond that 1 year. But there were some questions beyond 1 year. No doubt in that. But they were very rare phenomena. That year, see, for that one question, you cannot read another 2-3 years, right? 2-3 years of current affairs is useless. See, again I'm telling you now, the 20 questions in mains examination, the 20 questions, you will actually not attempt all the 20. Because you don't have time, right? Okay. So you know what people do? Mostly it so happens out of 20, some 10 to 12 questions you know very good. Therefore, you properly answer every question, all those 10 to 12 questions. Okay. Some 6 to 7 or 8 questions, you know them, but you don't have full length answer for them. So you write average. Okay. There might be 2 to 4 questions wherein, or 2 to 3 or 4, whatever, depending on the case, wherein you're not well aware of the answer. But you just know certain terms in the question. Okay. Suppose electronic voting machines. You know what are electronic voting machines. So you write something on electronic voting machines and close it. Okay. You won't even write half a page also here. You might be writing 50 words or 60 words. Tup, 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 in the last 10 minutes. Okay, you try to cover 2 to 4 questions. Okay, at least if you get half mark each, half mark, half mark, half mark, half mark, 4 half marks, 2 marks, good enough, right? Are you getting my point? That's how you try to attempt all the 20, but not exactly the way you are supposed to write all the 20. Getting my point? Clear? Because you cannot write. Okay. These are also no questions, which means you're leaving these questions only, no? As good as you are leaving the questions. Okay. If some questions like discuss the relevance of Gujarat doctrine in terms of lookist policy. When was Gujarat doctrine? Gujarat doctrine was in 1999 or 2000. 20 years back, more than 20 years back. Is it or not? But it would have come in the news. Someone would have referred to Gujarat doctrine at some point of time. It has come in the news, therefore question appeared. Okay. Someone heard about Gujarat doctrine, suppose, he will write. If nothing is heard about Gujarat doctrine, at least you talk about lookist policy. You write some 2-3 lines on lookist policy and close it. Half mark, you get that half mark. But you don't know Gujarat doctrine. But at least you got half mark now. So there will definitely be some questions like that. Let it be. But what is important for us? Writing these questions is important. These questions give you half plus half plus half plus half mark. If you write one extra point, you'll get extra half. That's it. If you know them. Okay, getting my point. So what is more important? Last 1 year from the date of exam. That's it. Okay. Yeah. Any more questions? No, you don't have choice. No choice in this exam. Only optional has choice. That is limited choice. Okay. Okay. This is what I just mentioned. Abhyasa, daily, weekly, fortnightly, monthly. What we do from my side is we not only conduct the exams on daily basis as per the scheme that I mentioned. We go with daily evaluation feedback. We have mentors who will be supporting you on 24/7. And then this is all about writing practice. Writing practice. I was talking, writing practice is very important as far as mains is concerned. The brevity of your answers is important. They definitely look for your brevity of writing your answers. Brevity comes into picture when you use terminology of the topic, terminology of the subject, polity, terminology, economy, terminology, geography, terminology, and then social issues, terminology. Everything IR has its own terminology. Try to use the terminology, your answer looks very beautiful. Instead of writing 150 words, you'll be able to write in 75 to 100 words. That makes sense, right? Whatever you're talking. And that's what is important for an IAS officer. If you write 10 points, suppose if you are able to write in 100 words, if the same report of 10 points, you write 1000 words, who is going to read that? Getting my point. As an IAS officer, you just suppose someone is submitting a report to you yourself is not going to read the entire 1000 words. Okay, someone has written a leave letter for 1000 words. Will you read it or what? Anyway, this is a summary of whatever we discussed. Learnings, what to read, what not to read, syllabus, how to read previous question papers, and revisions and practice important is a program called as Abhyasa. Okay. So this Abhyasa Plus, which we are going to start later on. I'm not trying to, they're all the things that we already give you. LRP, learning, revisions and practice technique. Okay, experienced faculty, mentorship support, one-to-one. I'm going to go with some kind of one-to-one counseling with everyone. Abhyasa Plus Samiksha is a magazine, current affairs magazine. Test series, someone is talking about how many tests we have to write. I'll give some examples. Okay. So last year, what I have done was, last year and last year also, I started interviewing all the candidates or most of the candidates who cracked the tier examination from our institute, not outsiders. From our institute, whoever cracked the examination, I started interviewing them. If they are in Hyderabad, physical interviews like Umahar, you have seen it, right? Okay. Or else it is online through our, we have that Zoom, right? So in the process of that, I learned certain things. I used to ask the same question you asked me because I'm supposed to ask them, because though I know the answer, if I tell the answer, no one is going to believe that. If the ranker tells the answer, you can easily believe that. So I started asking them certain questions. So test series, how many tests you attempted before prelims exam? How many test series that you attempted before mains examination? All have given different answers. Different answers altogether. Some of the examples. One person gave me an answer, prelims, how many tests that you have written. Full length test. I'm talking about full length test, not 10 marker or 20 marker test. I'm talking about full length test. Okay. He told me I attempted 170 question papers before prelims exam. Another person 130, another 100, another 80, 70, 60, 50, 0 also. 0. 0 was told by 17th ranker last to last year. Okay. 17th ranker Sartak Agarwal. A gem of a guy. Okay. 0. Literally 0. He did not attempt single test series. Prelims or mains also. Is demographic, I'm telling you, he's a different altogether, different genre again. Okay, he works with World Bank. Okay, extraordinary, whatever. Okay, leave it as. The point is, there is no hard and fast rule to crack this examination. How many tests that you have to attempt? It should be based on completely on your convenience. But I will tell you one simple game plan. Okay, on test series, prelims or mains, it holds good for both of them. Okay, the game plan should be like this. Generally, suppose March 1st you started prelims preparation, March, April, May, 3 months. Or maybe you started January 1st. It can be anything, whatever it might be, it doesn't matter. So when you start preparing for prelims or mains, what happens? You prepare a plan for your study. So polity for 15 days, economy for 20 days, or whatever you plan. And then after one module, one entire revision is complete, you'll go for shorter revision plans. Okay, shorter revision plans. Within 10 days, I have to complete polity and economy together, like this, right? Whatever shorter plans you'll have. Now, first, always subscribe to a test series which is exactly according to your study plan. Subscribe to a test series more or less exactly according to your test plan. No deviations, more or less. More or less means, see, first I am reading polity, after that economy. The test series might be having first economy, after that polity. It's okay. It's okay, right? The small deviation is okay. Okay, but more or less according to your study plan. Okay, this is something which you have to subscribe. The reason being that if you don't subscribe, what happens is, as human beings, we have general habit of modifying our own study plan based on our convenience. Something which you have to read for 10 days, someday 1 or 2 days you would have wasted because of some reason. You would extend the 10 days to 12 days or 15 days. And everything gets disturbed after that. In order to not disturb your study plan, you have to subscribe to your test series. It can be any test series. I'm not saying this test series you subscribe. I'm not doing that. Okay? That can be anything that suits to your plan of study. Plus 2 test series question papers you collect. All are freely available. Even this also is freely available. Though it is freely available, I am asking you to subscribe to that because of the discipline that it is going to maintain in your study plan. Okay? Because you paid amount, therefore you are bound to study and bound to write also the test because you paid for that. Okay? But these are those +2 test series which you did not pay a single paisa except for the Xerox copy, or maybe soft copies you got from somewhere. But catch those 2 test series. Okay? Now, as soon as you start preparing for this study plan or whatever, suppose initially polity is there in your study plan. This test series conducts a polity in one of the weekends. Okay? You have written that. What you also have to do is, from other 2 test series, the polity tests, 2 polity tests you have, you also complete them there and then itself. Getting my point? What does it mean? The basic underlying concept of all these things is, even if I prepare a question paper also, I try to cover the entire syllabus. But actually, I will not be able to cover the entire syllabus. I'll sub 100 questions, of course, in which suppose I can create some 300 questions on the syllabus. Okay, 100 questions I would have taken. This guy would have taken some other 100, another guy 100. Altogether, it comes as 300 questions, but they are not 300 questions. They come to 150 or 200 questions only. Net means common questions might be there, right? Common, exactly not the same, conceptually. Okay, so assuming that polity has suppose some 150 concepts. Okay, I would have created 100 questions, another question paper, 100 questions, another question paper. 300 questions will revolve around only these 150 concepts only. Okay. Now here, the 300 questions on polity you got, they revolve around those 150 concepts. You mastery those 300 questions, which means that you mastered these 150 concepts of polity. Like this, every topic. One is practice, other is what? Mastering those concepts. You have to review your answer scripts, review your key and explanation, and then mastery that area every time. Then 150 plus 150 plus 150 plus 150 keeps on adding for each and every topic, and you'll get mastery over all the concepts. Okay, so that's how you have to just 1 plus 2. The rule is 1 plus 2. 1, you subscribe. 2, you collect the question papers. Okay, assuming that when you are writing first weekend, you are writing polity. In these 2 test series, polity exam is not yet conducted, suppose. Leave it. Okay, maybe in the week 5 or maybe week 10, when you started revision, second round, by the time at least these people would have created their question papers of polity. Then those question papers of polity, you do it. But somewhere or the other, see why I am talking about these are 3 different test series. Okay, it should not be, see for example, giving an example, last time one of my student, she has taken Vajiram test series. Okay, she subscribed to Vajiram test series, taken 2 other test series. I did not ask her what to take also. I just asked her what is the schedule of your Vajiram, so that I can track her. Okay, other things are extra. It might be vision, or it might be insights, or it might be IAS Baba, or it might be Shankaran, or what is it? Chennai based institute, whatever. Okay, whatever, I am least bothered about what you are going to take. Even Vajiram also I am least bothered. But you subscribe to the test series which fits to your study plan. That is most important. Other 2, up to you. Okay, I am not even telling analog test series also, because it doesn't matter which test series you take. Every question paper is available everywhere throughout India. It doesn't matter which test series you are going to subscribe. Okay, anyway, that's what the test series are. How many comes into picture, how many test series, how many tests altogether would be there? That depends. That depends upon the test series and what other 2 test series question papers that you have taken. It doesn't matter. Any other questions?
How we analyze this?
See, they are, okay. See, prelims objective based, you know very well. When you study the concept properly, you will get to know that. Descriptive answers, there should always be someone who should be evaluating your answer scripts. At least in the initial days. When you actually start your preparation, when you actually start writing answers, initial days for few months to come, you should have someone who evaluates your answer scripts and let you know the feedback. Based on the feedback, you have to revise your answers, rewrite the answer, write a better answer. That is a process which goes up to certain level. Where, yeah, this is the level which we require to write a UPSC kind of an answer. When you reach up to that level, that doesn't matter. But if you did not reach up to that level, wherever you are, you need an evaluator. Are you getting my point? Reaching up to that level is important. When do you reach up to that level is all up to your practice. No one can say anything on that, right? Taking feedback properly in a positive sense, or getting the right person to evaluate your answer script, getting a proper feedback, and getting motivated to rewrite an answer, and again get it evaluated, or getting, it's a process basically. But you have to grow up to that level. where you understand like, this is how I have to write an answer. It takes a lot of time. Okay, it's not just about the other two test series, only to write answers. Okay. Okay. CSAT is something which you asked, right? CSAT, you have to go to the next level. There is no other way out. Okay. Get the UPSC, same, how to read. What to read, we are not understanding. How to read, look at the previous question paper. And he is up to this level, you grow up to that level. He is up to this level, you stay at this level. Whatever UPSC way of asking questions, you have to write, prepare accordingly. Got it? Yeah. Answer rating, we discussed roadmap, test series, time management. See, time management all depends upon your macro plan, first of all. You be clear about your macro plan first. Macro plan starts with which year you want to write the exam. Don't be in a haste to decide like the very next year I'm going to write the exam. Okay, that you decide only when, yes, I am going to prepare for 2024 because the time, whatever I have, availability of time at your disposal. Okay, this much of time I am going to spend on daily basis per day. This much of time I can complete this much of syllabus. If that is sufficient to write 2024 examination, you go ahead with that. Or else 2025 one is the best one. As of now, you still have chance to crack 24 exam. Provided, I'm telling you, there are a lot many things you have to do parallelly. Not only learnings, revisions, practice, notes. Revision notes, you have to do all of them parallel. For example, so we completed polity, suppose. Now what you have to do, you have written so much of notes on polity, so much of reference books also you would have studied along with learning polity. Consolidate them, put it all of them together at one place and try to consolidate them. Suppose later on some news item has come. Same fundamental rights I was talking, news item has come. Supreme Court has given a judgment redefining what is freedom of speech and expression, suppose. Just time. Okay. Then put that in your revision notes only. It's a revised latest notes for you. Put that point in the revision notes. Okay. That revision notes might expand slowly based on the current affairs element, if at all it comes into. Got it? I think it's already 2. See, this I wanted to tell you guys regarding optional subject. So optional subject, no one has referred to optional subject there. But anyway, I don't know how many of you have chosen optional subject already. Chosen? Chosen? Already chosen? You know how to choose? How to choose?
Don't know, sir.
You don't know how to choose an optional. For you, this is the one. See, optional subject again plays a very critical role in as far as mains exam is concerned, because mains examination you need to score very high. Optional gives you that advantage. Okay. Now, in order to score very high, again, unless you have very good interest for the subject, you cannot score very high. Just because that the trend is showing that this optional subject has very good high scoring potential, that is not sufficient. That has got high scoring potential, not for you, maybe for someone else who has got interest for the subject. So the priority goes for interest. Okay, first priority is always interest. If you have interest for the subject, you will score very high. Okay, scoring potential and trend comes later. Okay, see, this is about this one. Are you getting that? Dil se you have to like the subject. Dil se. With your heart, you have to like the subject. All these things come from here. Dimag se. With brain, logically, you think like this has got high scoring potential, that is less scoring potential, that trend is good for this subject. General studies overlap, you compare GS syllabus with optional syllabus, you try to see the overlap. Resources, all these things come from here. The only element which comes from here is your interest for the subject. If you have that real interest for subject, for you, the scoring potential would be high, or else it's not. Understood? So, any more questions? Done with? Okay. So any questions that you have at any given point of time, you can always come back to me. I can clarify your doubts or any issues that you have. Okay. Thank you so much, and then catch up later. Okay.